Oh, good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host from Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring my guest on. We got a lot to talk about today. She's going to be here for 2:30, and then after that time, it'll just be from Walden continuing to talk about Buffalo. But we got some other things to talk about today. How you doing? Miss Victoria Beach, a community activist?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. The people we still got to work a little bit harder to get. We almost had a show set up today for Buffalo, but it didn't work, and so I got to send the emails out and get that signed up. But before, and look, I didn't put my digits in, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Before we get started, it was some stuff on Twitter, and it was about divestment, and I always say the weeping mothers, and so I said some things out there, and I removed everything I said, but I think what happens in Seattle is that they only want to hear one voice.
Yep, you're right.
And no one wants to hear the voice of the mothers. And I'm saying, well, one of the things that we're doing is that we're doing both. We're talking about police reform and how we harm one another. So we're not gonna do this with just so-called divesting and taking away all the police officers and think you're gonna have safety over here on the other side.
No.
Now, in some places they say, I know they said there's Stockton, in some places the murder rate had gone down. I don't know about that. I'm going to look at all of that. But, a lot of these people who want to help us really can't help us because they don't know why. They don't understand about our history. They don't understand our culture, and they don't understand what's missing. And what's missing right now is the link of history and spirituality. And actually being in touch with the ancestors and the greatness of our people, and sometimes we have to do that ourselves. And so you have a lot of people. And Mothers was not part of the divest movement. We were not part of defunding Seattle. The police department. And I do know that they didn't talk to all the voices, and then the people that we represent. Because look how many mothers have reached out to you. Just trying to, okay, yeah, right. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's they want to know why the city isn't up in arms when their Black children are murdered. Why aren't they up in arms? Why aren't they marching? It's like they're, what I look at it, they look at it like the people on the other side, Black lives, who cares? They probably were gang members or this or that. They're totally ignored. I don't care what type of lifestyle. Nobody deserves to lose their child ever, And so a lot of these mothers have reached out because they want their voices heard. You have a platform, I have a platform, and we're going to let their voices be heard.
Well, yeah, and I guess some of the people from the, I think it's the Human Rights Commission office of the Human Rights Commission it sent an email and some other stuff. To the community police, we're going to look at that. We will not be silent. We who absolutely know that there's another voice out there. But not, is there a problem with the police department? Yes, it is. Is there a problem with all the police departments in America? Is there systemic racism and deep hatred against us? Yes, it is. That's why we were outstanding in solidarity with Buffalo. But nobody can come and tell us how we should be running our community and what should happen for us. We should have a say in that. And stuff. And that's what give us a say in it. So anyway, I know that you can't stay, you're not going to be able to stay for the whole hour, but anyway, I just want to mention the weeping mothers. And it's growing. There's an epidemic of stuff that's happening in our community and across the country, and then we have the other stuff that's growing. We have the violence we have the people who are lurching out there that want to harm us. It's part of the white supremacy. And then you have the police. So we have all of these things to be concerned about, and we have to put them together. We cannot separate them. We have to put them together so we can create an atmosphere of knowing on how to work with this. See, so anyway,
can I say something about that? The thing is, why should any other race or anybody care about us when we're killing each other?
and then that goes back to also coming out of. I mean, this is a behavior. This is a more pronounced behavior today than it was when I grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, because of I mean, I grew up with Black teachers, Black community, and people telling us our history. Our kids have grown up in buildings where people don't like them, and someone has programmed to believe there's no opportunity. It's so much opportunity for Black kids in America.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just down in Tuskegee. Your daughter just graduated from college.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got several college graduates, and I got some too. So there is opportunity, but who is talking to our children? I mean, who is leading them to believe that there's no opportunity? Here in Seattle, you can go to any college free if you get up and go out to bed, get up out of the bed and get a bus ticket, and that's free. So there's opportunity in Seattle other than violence. Really and truly, the programs we need is parenting.
Right.
That's the program we need. 101. We need parenting, and these people out there in the greater society can't help us with parenting.
No,
I mean, because they can't take care of their own kids. I mean, look at the guy with the gun. I mean, so they can't help us with that. So we need parenting. We need structure. We need history, and we need absolutely a sense of spirituality.
You're right.
I mean, and those are the things that we need. I don't see how other people can give us that.
No, they can't.
I really don't. I really don't.
No.
And I mean, and there's a movement in America to get rid of the police. I mean, and that's fine with people who want to believe in that society. But, that's almost like, that's almost like where we are right now. They got rid of the draft and look what's happening. That's why you have all these boys running around with guns because they don't have nothing to do. I'm not saying I'm in favor of war, but I'm talking about the regimentation of being regimented, that there's something about self-discipline and being able to follow an order. And that stuff is not happening right now because people don't understand it. Sometimes you have to follow an authority. You have to follow orders. I mean, if you're going to be successful, these are some of the elements that's going to happen for you to be successful. But, hey, thank you for listening to me on that piece. I've had a little rant here because I'm going to stand with the 81 mothers. I'm going to stand with the 1,000 Black kids in Chicago. I'm going to stand with those mothers.
I am too.
I'm going to stand with these mothers all over the country because all the people who are talking about all of this have never sat with a woman who's lost their child.
No.
And probably never went to a funeral.
No.
I mean, we're including the police shootings in this. We're not leaving them out.
That's right.
Really, because they also lost a child. I mean, and so we have gone to set with a lot of these people, not only people that's been killed in our community, but I've been with many families. I mean, and so I've been with many families that the police are. I mean, because before we stood with them before they got an attorney, we were the voice for them. And so for people to not, so anyway, but I'm going to always stand with the victim, with the mothers.
I am too.
I'm going to stand with and for us, we know all Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Right.
So we're not separating them out.
No, we're not.
And that's why we stood, and that's why we were standing in solidarity on Saturday. I want to thank you for coming and bringing and being part of that day. What do you think about what happened on Saturday for us?
I have to thank you. You're always the first one to step up and bring light to these situations. I'm appalled. We had a good group. It was a beautiful day. And I said it there, I was appalled that park should have been filled where nobody else could get in. Shame on our community for not coming together and lifting up these families of these, their loved ones were murdered, gunned down, hunted. So thank you for joining that.
A lot of the people were out with the mayor. He had 4,000 people showed up. I mean, so he carried, what the mayor was doing to clean up the city looks good. I was out on yesterday. I mean, so a lot of the people who might have been there with us was out there, being part of One Seattle. So, and it just all happened on the same day. That's why we got the park so easily. Because it was already being cleaned up. See, and that was a blessing. It was already being cleaned up for us.
But I felt like the right people were there.
Oh, yes.
It was a nice group. It was. I was so happy to be a part of that. I wish that we didn't have to meet because the issue of these people that were hunted and murdered because of the color of their skin. You know, the whole day was great hanging out with you. I just wish more people could have seen what you put on, but it was nice. It was beautiful. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. It was a great day, and I know that all of them were looking down from heaven.
Well, I did talk to a retired fire commissioner today. I think his first name is Tim. To figure out, and I think I have his last name here, but he's the one who's going to make a connection for us back in Buffalo. And he says there's no Cardwell is his last name, and he said there's just a lot of I mean it's a lot of activity. A lot of people who it's hard to fathom that. I mean, just like it is for the schools. I mean, kids sending kids to school to be safe, and they might not come back home. So, so it's a whole different reality. But what I was grateful for is that everybody. A lot of times, all the speakers don't show up. I mean, but everybody showed up. I mean, El Centro de la Raza, I'm going to send out a thank you. I'm sending out a thank you to everyone for coming. Allison came for the ACLU. Actually, she had been on a retreat over there at Bremerton and caught the ferry to get back there in time. And Pastor Anderson, I didn't think he could come. And Reverend Laverne Hall walked down those steps at 84.
Yes.
to be involved. So
somebody came from Federal Way. I mean, it wasn't like they were already in the community. People traveled to be a part of it.
Right, that's right. Reverend Anderson came from Federal Way. And then, of course, you and you and Felicia and Angela, and also Reverend Linda Smith came from Renton. So so we had Puget Sound pretty covered. I mean, because if you look at Allison coming all the way from Bremerton to get back here to Seattle, so
we can't forget the chief.
Oh yeah, and the chief came by. That's right. And he said, he came. He couldn't stay but a minute, but he came and was able to have some words and stuff like that. And I guess the people would say we were in love with the police. We hear that the police came, but the police has been showing up the things I've been doing for 33 years, whether they liked us or not. I mean, anyway, and some of these people who actually maybe not seeing the whole picture. I might be 33 years old. So I'm good, it's like sometimes you just have to, you take the heat on both sides, I mean, hey, you stand up, but I'm going to stand up for the mothers. So I know you don't have long. So did you want to just acknowledge a couple of people? Because I mean, you got to leave at 2:30. So, So, I mean,
you want me to read?
These were another reason why we wanted to do this, because number one, we wanted to say that these lives matter, and then the age of the victim. Even if they had all been younger, it still would be the same. But the age of the victim, and look like you might want to talk a little bit of how he cased the place. He came back.
Yes, he. From what I understand, he had a map of the store. So he was there the day before and actually talked to a Black older man and told him to come back the next day. So he probably was setting him up to gun him down too. And the man that I don't remember his name, but he said he was really odd. And so he knew when the shooting happened, that's who it was. But I also know that he had a list. He was going to drive down the street and shoot every Black person he saw. He was going to go to an elementary school. I mean, he's sick. I mean, he was hunting Black people. One of the people that was murdered was Aaron Salter, and he was the former police lieutenant. He was 55. He worked at Tops Groceries for a while. One of the store employees said that he would tell them when they were wrong and right. They liked working with him. He I'm going to read something. It says Salter fired at the attacker, striking him once, but the bullet was caught in body armor. That boy was protected, and that's, if he didn't have that body armor, he would have been dead.
Yeah, he would have taken him down.
Yep, and it would have saved.
Right.
So
there would have been an in policy shooting.
Yep,
it would not be no charges against him.
And he would have, and he's still a hero. He still died a hero.
Yeah.
And and then there is Ruth Whitfield, and she was 86 years old. She was the mother of a retired Buffalo Fire commissioner. She was picking up a few items at the supermarket. She was a caretaker. It's and I think past the murder, who's going to take her place? If she's 86 years old, there's a reason why she was there taking care of him. Who's going to step in?
Yeah, and you sent me the TikTok of her son.
Yes.
How he was wailing. I mean, he was more than weeping. He was wailing.
Yeah.
About the love life of his mother and father, because here she was 82. 86, going to see the love of her life.
Yeah,
he was still her, still her group. He's still, when they get to be that age, they see each other as bride, and it's like they're still on that wedding day. They see each other young.
Yeah,
they see each other all those years, and she was still committed to that, going
visiting him
to see him every day.
At the nursing home.
And at that time, when you sent me the TikTok, her son did not, his father did not know that his mother had been murdered.
No. And it says that she was his primary caretaker.
Right.
Right. And there was Catherine, they called Massey, they call her Cat, 72 years old. She was a member of the community group We Are Women Warriors. They had a forum to discuss ways to tackle youth violence.
Yeah. I thought I was going to try to get in touch with that organization.
Yes.
And see if we can get somebody on to be talking about that organization, and also maybe have a tribute for her from somebody, because I think youth violence is something, had her age. Yeah, talking about youth violence. Trying to connect the dots. See, yeah.
Yep. Well, you're working on all of the same thing,
right?
Because there was something that happened in a high school earlier. These people, their lives matter. These weren't people that just, didn't do anything. They were fighting for their communities.
That's right. That's
right.
At that age,
that's right. They were still involved.
They hadn't given up. They had not given up. Okay, yeah, because they knew nobody was coming to rescue them.
No. It's Pearl Young, 77, ran a weekly food bank.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorites, because for 25 years she did that food bank. Amazing?
25 years. She fed people in Central Park every Saturday. She loved singing and dancing and being with family. She was a mother and grandmother and a missionary. Why? I just don't understand. Why aren't we up in arms? Why isn't Seattle up in arms? Why aren't we out there?
Well, they will be on the 25th. On the 25th is the second anniversary of George Floyd, which is rightfully so. We should always remember that happening. That showed the world what police brutality is all about. In real time. But we've been programmed to just be one, or to actually speak out on one issue. That's part of our programming, and we've been social engineered to that way. And when something directly related to us around harm in a different way, we don't quite get our brain wrapped around it, because it's just that just seemed to be something about it over the program. We watched this happen over time.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched it happen. I mean, over time, and you would think that this one would make people want to connect the dots, because I think this young man might have thought he was going to get away with it like Kyle did,
Right.
and so he thought he would, and you know, I think he thought that he was going to be able to do this and not be facing all those charges, but he's facing a whole bunch of charges. Yeah.
Wasn't his mother? What didn't she? I heard she did something.
I heard his mother. I heard his family had given him a gun. His father.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. They need to go after his mama too. You know, I was talking to a friend earlier, and we were talking about, you know, I was telling her about the lovely thing you put on yesterday, and she said, she wished I would have called her, but we were talking about people not up in arms, and she goes, she said she had a discussion with a group. She goes, we're just numb. We're so numb and tired. And it's just like, I said, but you got to get up. You got to get up and help fight the fight. I'm tired too. But I'm going to be out there.
Well, also, one thing about social engineering, we've been social engineered to believe that this is normal.
Right.
And then they have to wake up and realize that it's not normal. It is not normal for somebody to go in a grocery store and kill people. It's not normal for somebody to shoot up a school. But we have normalized violence. We've normalized it to the extent right now. It's just kind of hard to get people going. And even the president, I mean, he was weak. He wasn't as strong as he could have been when he was there. I mean, really and truly. I mean, what he's going. I mean, number one, it's a war at home against Black people. Okay, and nobody wants to acknowledge that. And so we want to talk about the other war, but there's a war against us. It's been going on for 159 years. Okay.
There is a war, and we're looked at as the enemy and hunted.
Right. Yeah.
And Roberta Gurry, 32 years old.
Yeah.
The baby still. I consider her a baby. She moved to Buffalo 8 years ago to help out with her brother that had leukemia, helped in their restaurant. I guess when the family heard about the shooting and she wasn't back yet, they didn't know she was the victim. And they thought that she was probably just standing around seeing what happened or hiding. And they said she always wanted to do the right thing. They said she loved family. It's I just we got to stop this, because just because it happened in Buffalo does not mean that it won't happen here.
No, because in Washington State, have a lot more, have one of the highest states with these hate groups in it. And it's been that way. I mean, even when they went up to Whidbey Island and tried to take over Whidbey Island many, many years ago, over 25 years ago, a lot of people don't even know about that one. But, I mean, there was from the Aryan Nation, I believe, that was up there in Whidbey, and it was a shootout with the police up there.
Yes, I remember that. Yep. But I heard that they're still in those woods out in Whidbey Island. That's where a lot of them hide out. Which people don't know, but I just,
Well, when you've had a dose of violence all the time, I mean, all the time, and television went from Marsha Dillon, not always killing somebody, to what it is today. And then they moved from musicals. Some of the movies used to be musicals. So many of them was. And then they went from musicals, to murders.
Yep.
Yeah, and some of those movies have multiple murders in them. I mean, multiple.
Yeah.
And then they brought all this murder on television, and people have. And now they got podcasts about going through these cases of murderers.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying, well, what is this appetite about death in America?
Yeah.
There's a culture of death.
Yep.
And somehow you have to create a culture of life.
You do. You do.
You have to create a culture of life. And so anyway, I know that it's almost it's 2:28 now. So you want to do one more before we take a break? And yeah,
let me. Andre McNeil, 53 years old, a baby. He was engaged to be married, and he died on their son's birthday.
Wow.
He had gone to Tops to pick up the birthday cake. You know, wow. That child is going to be traumatized.
Yeah, that's like something, you know, and you know, our son, your son-in-law's mother died on Mother's Day. I mean, many
right,
years ago.
and he's traumatized. You know, and my dad passed away on my daughter's birthday. You know, okay. And but one day she said to me, "Mama, can this please not let it be a sad day?" Yes. And I said, you know what? You're right. We'll celebrate your birthday and celebrate his life. But right now, this child is going to have to heal and get to that point. But
yeah. Because I think it's a small child too. I believe it was.
Yes,
it is a small child.
That is heartbreaking. Going to pick up a birthday cake and not coming back.
Right.
Yeah, it's
it's heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah. And also, I'll spend some time when I come back. I'll be on by myself, but because you're my only guest today. But I'm gonna spend some time talking about what food deserts are like and how hard it is for people to get food.
Yeah.
I mean, not only there, but in a lot of the other places. I mean, because see how we got a lot of things we can say here, but we don't have a food desert.
No, we don't.
No, we don't have a food desert. I mean, there's food, from all the way from Rainier Beach, all the way, Rainier Beach Safeway. I mean, around the corner, there's still a grocery store there. I mean, whether people like that one or not. Then you keep going up and you're going south, going north on Rainier, you're going to run into 2 more Safeways.
Yeah, I was going to say there's several Safeways and a QFC.
And then when you get to Rainier and McCullen, there's a QFC, and if you're on 15th, you got a Red Apple.
Right.
If you're up on Beacon Hill, you got a Red Apple, and then keep going, get past the freeway, and then you're gonna run into some more grocery stores. The closer you get to Capitol Hill, you're gonna run into some more grocery stores. Because we lost the Red Apple up there on 23rd, but I guess it's got an Amazon store up there now. And then so we really don't have any. I mean, if you don't have you on the bus, it still might be difficult for you, but we don't have we don't have any food deserts in Seattle.
We don't.
Yeah.
No.
So, and that's it. So yeah. All right. Well, I think I appreciate you coming on. And I know you got another appointment. So I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate Saturday and the work that we were doing. And we're going to continue to stand for the mothers.
We are.
We will continue to be the other voice, that absolutely knowing that their voices need to be at the table. Also, whatever you're going to do, talk about public safety, you got to be talking to the mothers and listen to them and talk to them and at least hear something that they have to say.
You're right. You're right.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you.
Okay.
You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 KKNW. I'm your host. Be right back.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host from Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. We just said goodbye to my guest, Miss Vickie Beats, community activist. She was with us Saturday as we were standing in solidarity in Seattle with the victims of the shooting there in Buffalo. And I started earlier. Thank you, Eric, for that song. I love that song. But the mind stayed on freedom. Yeah, we have to keep it stayed on freedom and also on love. And sometimes we just have to keep moving through these events, and whether they're hard. And it is hard right now. It's hard for all of us right now, moving through, being locked up with COVID. and all of the other things. And we always got one thing about it, we always looking for a scapegoat. And so COVID is one of those scapegoats to absolutely have some kind of way to be able to say COVID is making all this happen. So anyway, I'm not going to agree with all of that, but I do know that it's been difficult not being able to get out and do the things that some people want to do, especially people in a certain age category. So I'm going to talk briefly about a food desert. I started that before my previous guest left Victoria Beach. But one of the things that I know that I've been reading about that happened in Buffalo is that it was one grocery store for 100,000 people. And 100,000 people is about the number of people who live in the East Precinct. I mean, that would be from the Montlake Bridge. It'd be like absolutely from Montlake all the way down to Massachusetts. And then it would be all the way down to the lake, all the way down to Lake Washington. Part of the international district is in East Precinct, and a little part of Beacon Hill is in East Precinct. So I think East Precinct might have about 125,000 people. So this area had 100,000 people, and I'm wondering why they couldn't put another grocery store there, because surely Tops grocery store is taking out millions of dollars in that area. And I was wondering why don't they have another grocery store? So anyway, that's something to think about. A food desert and people not able to get food at one grocery store. But I think for me, I'm gonna just go ahead and speak on some of the victims there. I'm going to talk about Hayward Patterson. He worked as a driver who gave rides to the resident to and from the grocery store and would help them with their groceries. The 67-year-old regularly attended the State Tabernacle Church of God, and would stand at the door to welcome people into the service. There on Sundays, it's what the Buffalo News reported. Patterson was a church pastor, armor bearer, so that means he was really, really trusted by the pastor. In some places, he might have been called a deacon. He would volunteer to clean the church every Saturday, according to the paper. And he spent a lot of times in the soup, working in the soup kitchen. He would give the shirt off his back. His wife, Tisa Patterson, told the Buffalo News, that's who he is. He wouldn't hurt anyone. Whatever he had, he would give it to you. You ask, and he would give it to you. He didn't mind going out of his way to help other people. And this is just such a legacy of who we have been in this country. And I'm sure she says she's really going to miss him. I'm sure his whole family is going to miss him, and also the church family. So it looked like he had a church family also. I mean, and then he would, and all the people who he gave rides. I'm sure that there's a lot of people who's remembering him and in that community, and just to be someone who was dependable. It means something to have somebody dependable, and to spend your life helping other people. And then there's Celestine Chansey. She worked. She was at the grocery store to get some shrimp and strawberry cake. The 65-year-old was the grandmother of 6 and had a great grandchild, and she was a cancer survivor. And that's interesting that somebody can, be a cancer survivor and then be taken out like that. She prized her role as a grandmother most of all. And with her grandchildren ranging from 4 to 28, she was a regular churchgoer and enjoyed playing bingo and shopping. A lot of people her age enjoy shopping, because they're really not hardly buying for themselves. When somebody get to be 65, they're spending a lot more time buying for other people than they are for themselves. And she was probably the sweetest person you could ever meet. Her daughter, Dominique Brown, told the paper, very loving, very giving, and very kind. Wow. That's a good testimony, to be very loving, very good, and very kind. And that might not be the words that they're going to say about the young man who did the shooting. To be able to actually go to the store, case it out, talk to people, get ran out of the store, and had a diagram of the store, Well, he had planned this, and I don't know what was in his head, but I do know that all of this stuff about replacement, replacement theory, uh, we've been here for so long. I mean, we absolutely been here longer than probably his family. We've been here before the Civil War, and continuously before the Civil War. The last slave ship came in the 1930s until they tried to slip one in and down in Alabama, and it had a shipwreck there. My understanding that might have been on purpose, but the human beings that was on that ship, the Africans, started a town called Africa Town there in Alabama. I think it's probably near Mobile, someplace down near the Gulf. So anyway, we've been here such a long time, and for us to still be hunted it just shows what this deep-seated sickness against African Americans. And I say African Americans and not saying BIPOC or people of color, because a lot of people came to this country after the 1800s. I mean, the Chinese came after slavery in the 1800s to build the Chinese. I mean, to build the railroad. And so we've been here so long, and we always stand with the Native Americans who've been on this land for at least thousands of years. And then you had the Mexicans down on the border. So we've been here for a while, and it's just not normal for people to still be hated for something that they didn't do anything. We didn't steal ourselves and bring it to America. We did not bring ourselves to America by ourselves. So that's not what happened. So anyway, look, I'm just saying a blessing for every one of these people. I read their names. I do a silent blessing for them and their family. And let's see here. We're going to talk about Geraldine Talley. She's 62, lived in and who lived there also. They don't have a lot of information about her, but we're going to say a blessing for her. Also, there was 3 people wounded, and I think some of those people have already been released from the hospital. And so they did not perish on this shooting here. So, I think she mentioned Ruth Whitfield, and she was a lady. Again, I came back to her because I saw the video, the TikTok of her son, and he was just wailing. I mean, about his mother, naturally so, and being a primary caregiver for her father, for her husband, and they had been married so many years, and that's just just a tragedy. It really is just a tragedy. So let me get the other names of the victims here. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come back and I can read all the names when I get back. This is Reverend Walden with Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to continue to talk about the victims at Buffalo, but also going to give a big thank you for all the speakers who showed up. There was Reverend Laverne Hall. She was 84 years old. She wrote a wonderful prayer that we'll be sending on to the families there in Buffalo. Also, Dr. Reverend Linda Smith. She came from Renton. Pastor Anderson, pastor of First AME Church. He came in from Federal Way. We had Hilda Maganas from El Centro. She does early childhood, director of the Early Childhood Center there. Also, we had Michael Ramos, Church Council of Greater Seattle, the executive director there. And we had Allison Holcomb with the ACLU. She took the ferry all the way from Birmingham to get here. Big shout out to Chukwudi Salisbury, who helped him with this. We had Vickie Beats. She was my guest earlier. She was there. Also, Felicia Cross was also one of the speakers. Dante Dampier, he's a community activist, and Angela Davis, also a local community activist. So really glad to have all those people to show up and to bring greetings. And Angela Davis made a heart-shaped heart with all of the victims' names on it to be able to pass that out. And at the bottom of it, she wrote, I am because you are because I am, Ubuntu. That's a South African slogan, a statement that says that we're all one. That's what it says. Because I am because you are, and you are because I am means that we are one. And we are one. I mean, we just have not woke up to understand that on a higher level on the planet, a higher level of consciousness. We are one people. We're all connected one way or another. So anyway, I'm going to go back over the names here. Andre McNair. He was from Auburn, New York. He was 53. Roberta A. Drudgery. Jury. She was 32 and had moved to Buffalo to take care of her brother. I mean, look at all these siblings who love one another and take care of one. Aaron Salter, he was from Lockport, New York, 55. He was a police officer that actually did what he was trained to do. To see somebody trying to harm somebody, he tried to do something about that. And of course, he lost his life there also. And Celestine Chansey, 65. And I think what I'm struck so is about the age of the people. I mean, these were not, well, a lot of these people were what we would consider not to be spring chickens, okay? But they were continuing with their life and they had a right to be here. And that's the one thing about it. They had a right to life, they had a right to be here. And they had a right to continue their life. And to have this be happening. And then this officer, I don't know, I think he spent over 30 years. He started his career as a police officer when he was 17, when he was 18, when he could finally probably be one. Didn't have to lie about his age. So that's when he became a police officer and had been at that store for many years. It's just something to see this. And as Miss Beach said early on, not have an outcry especially in the African American community. I mean, we have the slogan Black Lives Matter, and what we've come to realize that all Black Lives Matter does not matter to the people who created the slogan. I mean, they collected a lot of money and absolutely spend it on themselves. So every generation we have people like that come through. And so even people here, the state of Washington donated a lot of money to the Black Lives movement. But when it's a tragedy in the community, other than around police issues, then people are silent. And that's why we stand up for the victims on the other side of the equations, for the people who were killed by people in our community. And we will continue to stand up for the mothers who are crying because their children have been killed. But we believe that you have to do both and. You can no longer just have an organization that absolutely just looks at one part of this. It has to be, all of it has to be together in order to have a holistic community, to actually look at holistic ways of healing the community. There's some internal stuff that we need to work on in our community, but there's a broader framework in America, and actually that broader framework that we're living out of and everybody's swimming in this is racism. And it's deep-seated in America, and it's been around ever since we've been here. And for us, we've known no safety. We're not immigrants and we're not refugees. We didn't come to America for freedom, or we didn't come for safety. We're still working on those two things. And it goes to show that they wasn't free to go shopping at the grocery store without being harmed. So as we continue to work through this trauma and this sorrow, America has sorrow after sorrow. We have lots of sorrow around the pandemic, and so many people lost their family members around that. And then you have the ongoing violence that's coming. And then you have the mothers going through the trauma that might not have enough milk for the babies, and all of that. And then so it's trauma on top of trauma. And so does the world needs healing? Yeah, we all do. Excuse me. We all need healing, not only because of this, but because of the ongoing things that we've had in our lives. We need healing. So I'm gonna call these names again: Andre McNair, Roberta Drury, Aaron Salter, Celestine Chansey, Magus Morris, Geraldine Talley, Catherine Massey, Hayward Patterson, Ruth Whitfield, and Pearl Young. At one place they call her name Pearly Young. So and again, I am because you are. You are because I am. Ubuntu is what that's called. Once again, I am because you are. You are because I am. Ubuntu. And we have to figure out a way to be on the planet. Martin Luther King said we'd either figure out a way to live in peace or we'll all perish together. And I think that really is looking at this behavior now. And it's everywhere. Violence is everywhere. It's a worldwide problem. But American violence is just because they don't like you. It's not because of water. It's not because of food. And it's not because of land. But it's because of something else. And it's deep-seated hatred in the heart. I'll say this one more time before I leave today. I am because you are. You are because I am. Ubuntu. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. See you next week.